It's been over a year since the world experienced a global change as the result of COVID-19. Even after the pandemic year of 2020, the world's billionaires are also richer than they've ever been, though estimates of their collective gains vary. According to Forbes, the collective fortunes of the world's billionaires increased from $8 trillion to a whopping $13.1 trillion. Well, I must say the year 2020 wasn't so bad after all, as the total number of billionaires increased from 660 to 2,755. For a long time, I thought you must be old to be a billionaire, and if you're probably a billionaire at a young age, you most likely inherited money from your super rich parents. Well, the truth is, the youngest billionaires today are not just old money heirs, like I said, but are also self-made. We found just 10 billionaires under the age of 30, which is the same as the previous year, 2020. These 10 young billionaires are worth a collective sum of $29.5 billion, which is $13 billion more than a year ago. Counting down from the oldest on the list to the youngest, these are the 10 youngest billionaires to make the Forbes list and how much they're worth. Sam Bankman-Fried. You might be wondering who Sam Bankman-Fried is and how he made the list. The Hong Kong-based CEO is not an old money heir, but a U.S. native who built his fortune in the cutting-edge world of cryptocurrency. 29-year-old Bankman-Fried was born in Stanford, California. He graduated from MIT with a degree in physics. Bankman-Fried is a former Wall Street ETF trader who built his massive crypto fortune at an astonishing speed, having launched both trading firm Alameda Research, which manages $2.5 billion in assets, and crypto derivatives trading platform FTX in 2019. According to Forbes, Sam Bankman-Fried is worth $8.7 billion. But that number could get a lot bigger, he says. Bankman-Fried embraces a philosophical principle that encourages people to maximize the positive social impact they have. He says his goal is to make as much money as he can so he can give away as much as possible. During the U.S. elections in 2020, he gave $5 million to a pro-Biden super PAC, making him one of the president's biggest donors, second only to Michael Bloomberg. As a billionaire, you would expect Bankman-Fried to have a lavish lifestyle, but unfortunately, he lives like many millennials. He shares an apartment with roommates and wears t-shirts and shorts to work. Bankman-Fried describes himself as a workaholic with a strict self-discipline. He spends most nights in a beanbag chair in the office and only returns home when employees are fed up with my presence, he said in a recent interview. He seldom drinks or goes on vacation, he said, because just like in idle software, your brain is less efficient after a long break. Stanley Tang. If you enjoy takeout, you should be familiar with DoorDash, but what you might not be familiar with is the brain behind it, Stanley Tang. Stanley Tang is a Hong Kong billionaire tech entrepreneur. He's best known as the co-founder and chief product officer at DoorDash, which he started along with Tony Chu, Andy Fang, and Evan Moore in 2013. The company leverages the internet to help offline small business owners increase sales by offering a better customer experience. The food delivery app became more prevalent and valuable than ever during the pandemic as restaurants and customers pivoted to delivery. It went public on the New York Stock Exchange in early December 2020. Tang is a devout entrepreneur who has been creating businesses since he was a kid. At age 14, he became an Amazon best-selling author with his book E-Millions. Tang has a bachelor's degree in computer science from Stanford University. He grew up in Hong Kong and now resides in San Francisco, California. Tang owns about 4% of his company, making Tang's net worth an estimated $2.2 billion as of December 2020. When asked what advice he would give to entrepreneurs, Tang says it's more of a personal choice. You end up building two very different types of businesses. Going it alone gives you more of a lifestyle business. You have more freedom, but it would also be difficult and slower to scale. On the other hand, if you raise funding, especially venture capital, all of a sudden you have investors, board, employees, and you're forced to go big. That's the only way investors are going to get a return. You raise funding if you want to accelerate growth. Gustav Magnar Witzøe. The 28-year-old owns nearly half of SalMar ASA, the Norwegian salmon producer his father founded in 1991. In 2013, Witzøe's father transferred 47% of the company to him to allegedly avoid a large inheritance tax bill. Currently, his net worth is $4.4 billion. Witzøe is also a technology startup and property investor. He previously worked for MGM Property and has invested in both Gopi and Key Butler. He's a well-known model signed to Norway's Team Models. With 130K followers on Instagram, Witzøe displays his expensive and lavish lifestyle in addition to his professional modeling shoots. Witzøe describes himself as a regular boy who would like to keep things private. That's probably due to my being shoved out into the public limelight. It was very strange at first. It makes you a bit nervous about what people think. But he has come to terms with being a public figure. He also confessed that his parents have regrets about handing over control of SalMar to him when he was only 19. They believe they should have taken more time to think it over, he said. Ritesh Agarwal. The 37-year-old Indian is another self-made billionaire worth $1.1 billion. He's the founder and CEO of the hospitality business and app Oyo Rooms. His company has a network of 2,200 hotels operating in 154 cities across India with monthly revenues of $3.5 million and 1,500 employees. Agarwal dropped out of college after winning $100,000 from the Thiel Fellowship, a program funded by billionaire tech investor Peter Thiel to provide grants for aspiring entrepreneurs, $100,000 over 2 years to develop their business ideas. He founded Oyo Rooms in May 2013. The company, which is currently valued at $10 billion, provides a means of booking affordable standardized rooms for travelers who had to compromise on the location, quality, and pricing of hotels. Agarwal is a successful entrepreneur who has won numerous awards and recognitions, including the Business World Young Entrepreneur Award. In 2016, he was featured in the Forbes annual 30 Under 30 list of global achievers. Austin Russell. In the world of self-driving cars, the name Austin Russell stands out. The 26-year-old Californian is the world's youngest self-made billionaire. Yeah, you heard me right. The world's youngest self-made billionaire thanks to his company, Luminar Technologies. Luminar Technologies is a startup in Silicon Valley that makes LiDAR sensors for self-driving cars. In December 2020, Luminar went public, making him the youngest self-made billionaire, the title which was formerly claimed by popular celebrity Kylie Jenner. His company makes sensors and other tech for autonomous vehicles. Its sensors now help self-driving cars of such customers as Volvo and Toyota by bouncing laser beams off nearby objects and the vehicle's surroundings. Before achieving billionaire status, Russell already had several notable accomplishments. He memorized the periodic table of elements when he was 2 years old. In 6th grade, he learned how to connect his Nintendo DS game console to a mobile phone after his parents didn't allow him to have one. At age 13, he filed his first patent for a groundwater recycling system that collects wastewater from sprinklers and saves it to be reused. Instead of going to high school, he spent his teens at the University of California at the Irvine Beckman Laser Institute. He was admitted into Stanford to study physics, but Russell dropped out of Stanford in mid-freshman year after receiving a $100,000 Thiel scholarship to start Luminar Technologies. Billionaire Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal, is one of Luminar's investors and has been its advisor since the company started in 2012. Katharina Anderson, age 25, and Alexandra Anderson, age 24. The Anderson sisters each inherited 42% stakes in Ford when they were just teenagers. Ford is a Norwegian investment company founded in 2001. Owned by their father, Johan Anderson, its origins date back as far as 160 years, when Anderson's great-great-grandfather, also called Johan, bought a tobacco company called Tijdemans, which became the basis of the family business. In the 1990s, the family decided tobacco was no longer a business they wanted to be in. They sold off the tobacco interests and established Ford, which has holdings in a range of businesses, including some highly successful non-listed companies. Their stakes in Ford were declared publicly when they each turned 17 years old. Forbes wrote that the Anderson family likely saw some tax benefits by handing down large amounts of wealth to their daughters at a young age based on the wealth tax laws in Norway. Although the sisters have inherited enormous wealth, their father has said he's intent on not forcing his daughters to be involved in the family business. "I'll allow them to choose as people and not as pre-programmed robots," Johan Anderson said. Aside from their wealthy inheritance, the sisters seem to be on top of their game in their career paths. Alexandra is a professional equestrian who has won multiple international dressage awards and is sponsored by equestrian brands Kingsland and Sam Shield. Katharina studied at the Amsterdam University College and interned with Ernst & Young, and she currently works as a marketing coordinator at Norwegian sporting goods company Brav, which is owned by her family's investment company. Out of the two, Katharina, the younger sister, looks more likely to follow in their father's footsteps running the family business. Although the sisters claimed their parents taught them not to flaunt their wealth, they still managed to enjoy their billionaire status, as evidenced by their Instagram profiles that show the two sisters enjoying Mediterranean vacations or flaunting luxury clothing like Gucci. Katharina said their parents taught them not to live too extravagantly, especially when it comes to their vehicles. "Dad has a rule that we can buy a nice car, but it must be secondhand." They also seem to have certain ideologies about money. Alexandra mentioned in an interview that she saves her money all the time, whether it's a gift or allowance or cash prizes she wins in equestrian competitions. She admits that money is a necessity, but doesn't want it to be something she needs to use in abundance. The Anderson sisters are known as top influential women who support non-profit organizations and give towards charity. What's not to love about the Anderson sisters? Wang Zilong. The 24-year-old is worth more than $1.3 billion. His fortune arises from CHTI Company. The company is the second largest producer of this pigment glass in China, with sites in Gansu and Anhui provinces. They produce titanium dioxide pigment, a white white pigment that can be used in coatings, plastics, ink, and other materials. Wang is the youngest billionaire in Asia. He also has stakes in Loman Billions Group. The billionaire seems to maintain a low profile who has no discernible presence on any major social platform, which stands in stark contrast to fellow billionaires on this list. We hope to see more of Wang Zilong in the nearest future. So there you have it. You don't have to be super old before you become a billionaire. And just in case you're wondering how to make $1 billion before age 30, the first step is to inherit a massive family fortune, and boom, you're a billionaire. What billionaire lifestyle are you going to adopt? Who do you think should be on this list? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave us a like. You can check out the King Luxury channel for more videos all about luxury. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.